Okay, ladies and gentlemen, your host Derek Lane for another episode of the Fast Lane Podcast for Success. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate it. And today we have a very nice subject that I think you're going to really enjoy. It's entitled, What's Holding You Back? We're going to be looking at some of the elements that are holding you back, some of the things that are keeping you from the life you desire, from the success you deserve, and how to tackle some of these issues. And then in the latter portion of the show, we're going to be dealing with a different take on it, more of the what's holding you back, the spiritual element of it. What's maybe if you feel like you've got a little bit of a black cloud that's always hovering above your head, what do you do to get rid of some of that negativity? So let's get into it. Great show, and ready to go with it. Okay, let's look at some of the things that are holding us back. Number one, comparing yourself to others. Maybe you feel like that, I don't have that PhD, I've not written 17 books on the subject, and, how can I be qualified for what it is that I'm pursuing? Well, you're qualified by your want and your desire and who you are. You see, you're not like anyone else. And quite frankly, you put yourself into something, and if you've researched it, you're going to be good at it. So quit comparing yourself to others. That's a big roadblock. There's no, you can't. Someone may be better qualified, but does that mean they do as good a job? Not necessarily. There are a ton of people with tons of potential that just don't get it done. With your strong will and desire, you can topple those people. And it doesn't have to be a competition, by the way. There's often times, if you look around at people that are successful, they've shared with people that are just as talented, if not more talented, and been able to, create their success alongside of other people. You ask the wrong questions a lot of times. The what ifs. What ifs, and am I good enough? You got to get rid of those questions. You got to put that positive spin in your head and accept the fact you can, not the what ifs. The doubts, my friends, are killing you. Doubting yourself will be the destroyer. Prove to yourself. Take action. Prove to yourself. Sometimes we wait for other people's approval to start an endeavor. There are no need to wait for other people to say, okay, now you can do it. Look, if it's something that you want to do and it's passionate to you, I implore you, strike out on your venture. Do it. You may wait forever. And as we all know, time passes quickly. So go ahead, right or wrong, just do it. If you feel passionate about it. If you're waiting for the right time, when is the right time? Now, I will admit there's certain things in my life that I kind of hang around and wait for more of a gutorial instinct. Time is right, but at some point you got to balance out your thinking to allow that time to be right. I can wait and wait and wait, procrastinate, and the time will never be right. So realize, sometimes if it doesn't feel right, give yourself a time frame. If something doesn't feel right within, whatever, your time frame you've allowed yourself, a month, 3 months, 6 months, maybe it's not the right project and you move on. Okay, if it just feels crazy. But chances are, you allow yourself that time to make that, just start it. You may want to start something, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. your bridge to success. If you just go ahead and start laying some foundation blocks, the other things will take hold. The ideas, the creative concepts will start to formulate, and you'll be able to get where you're going. The expectations of instant results. Now, sometimes we all have a little bit of that. It's understandable, but you have to allow yourself some time to see, the benefits of what you put in. In other words, a farmer doesn't go out and throw seed in the ground and wake up the next morning and get ticked off because he's not got, rows and rows of corn that, are towering high. He understands. You put in, you take the time and the effort, the labor, and you put into it. You nourish it, nurse it. It will produce for you. By the law of our universe, when you put in, the universe will give it back to you. The law of nature, in this case, will give it back to you. The farmer will get his corn because he's put into it. You have to understand the same thing. Okay? And there again, if you don't take action, if you're not planting your seed, where are you going to get corn if you're not going to plant the seed? You have to. So in your endeavors, how are you going to get there if you don't plant the seed? Okay? One of the other killers for not accomplishing your goals and seeing your success is that you get sidetracked. You can sit down and start researching things and putting together and formulating your plans, and then you see something here that, let me try this, let me try that. Maybe you're sitting on your computer and you want to research. Oftentimes, when I do a little research for my topics, just to make sure that I'm not being redundant or covering a topic that's too closely related to someone else's. And it's easy, you can start, okay, I like that, because I do like the ideas. I like that idea. I like that idea. And you can start drifting in a direction. Same thing with your success plan. You can start drifting in a direction that really wasn't intended. Just know that you can pull back. It's kind of like your meditation, if you will, when you're going silent and then your brain starts to activate. And that's normal for you to do, for your brain to do. You want to start to think and go in a direction, and you just have to recognize it and pull yourself back and say, that's okay, that's natural. That's a natural instinct, is for the brain to start wanting to think. The engine's running, so let's go. But you gotta let it idle. You just gotta let it sit and bring it back. Okay, same way with your plans. Don't get sidetracked. One of the things also that people make the mistake of doing is, they listen to everybody but themselves. You have an instinctive, you know where you want to be, and sometimes it's hard to express that plan to other people. That's natural. But listen to yourself. Clarify your intentions. Internally clarify your intentions. Again, if you want to do that through meditation, it's a great way. And when I talk about meditations, I'm not talking, you got to sit down and on a mat and cross your legs and yoga and all of that. I'm just talking about being quiet. Finding a place that's relaxing, where you can just not have any distractions and just letting your mind work for you. That's my idea of meditation. Assume that you're not the most talented person, but you can still go ahead with your plan, okay? And maybe you're underlining or undermining your talent. Who knows what talent you have unless you get out there and try it, right? You may have such a self-discovery that, wow, I didn't know I could be so good at this. Because your desires will create your talents. you have hidden talents. Everybody has hidden talents. Discover them. Just know that you are talented. Okay, and be flexible. Understand the flexibility. That you don't you don't have to write down on paper that I got to take this step, this step, this step, and stick to it. You can change those steps. You can tweak those steps. That's all part of the process. Because once you start seeing that, I guarantee you're going to have to. You're going to have to tweak. But that's being flexible and adaptive. And that alone is a key to success. And don't think you got to go it alone. Always ask for help. The most foolish people in the world are the ones that never ask for help. Because I guarantee if you have an idea that's worthy, there's going to be people out there that want to help you. They want to see this idea, this creation come to fruition. And there's always people ready to help you. And then sometimes if you've put in and put in and put in and you just don't see it happening, let it go. Let it go. Don't be the person that ruins his life, her life, over an idea that's never going to happen. So just understand that you can drop back and bunt, if you will. Okay, so what are some other things that are holding you back? Some other things that are holding you back, maybe it's a financial plan. You always have to have a financial plan. And along with that, are your goals defined in your plan? Make sure you have a plan. No company ever existed without having some type of a plan. A startup plan, a blueprint for success, their mission statement. Everybody's got a plan. And the successful ones work their plan. So that's a part of it. Don't be held back by not being ready. You don't have to be perfect. That's a common mistake people have in their life, is that, I've got to make everything perfect and just right. You're OCD, you're a perfectionist. That can limit you. Get over that right now. Stop your procrastination. Procrastination is huge. That should be a podcast in and of itself, and it probably will be. But that is definitely distracting to your destination. The idea that being consumed by failure looms large in your mind. Nobody wants to be a failure, so it's safer not to do anything, right? But if you're going to dare for greatness, you have to experience a little bit of a letdown. It's natural. It's a natural thing. Nobody ever walked without falling down. As a baby, you didn't just get up one day and start walking. You got up, you held on to things, you fell, you scraped your knees, you bumped your head, you got up, you tried it again, you did the same thing, you tried it again, you got frustrated, you cried, but you kept trying until you could walk. And now it's something you don't even think about. Well, for most of us. Walking, running, it's the same thing. You gotta experience it. You got to fall down a few times to experience success in your eventual outcome. And then on the practical matters of what's holding you back, think about the distractions in your life, the things that keep you from doing the things that you want to achieve.